Everyone, and welcome to today's webinar titled Use Strategic Partnerships to Grow Beyond the Branch. Today with us, we have Danielle with Apiture. I'll go ahead and introduce her later, but we all know embedded banking is a strategy for financial institutions to grow beyond the branch using strategic partnerships. The webinar today explains how embedded banking works and why it's beneficial for financial institutions. By incorporating financial services into non-banks products or software, financial institutions can expand their reach by meeting customers and prospective customers where they already are in new digital spaces. We thank you for joining us today. I'm Lexi Grindstaff, Director of Business Development at Bank Director. This webinar is brought to you by both Bank Director and Apiture. An information resource to the financial community since 1991, Bank Director focuses on the strategic issues most fundamental to a bank's CEO, senior leadership team, chairman, and independent directors. Apiture delivers award-winning digital banking solutions to banks and credit unions throughout the United States. Apiture's flexible, highly configurable solutions meet a wide range of financial institutions' needs, from leveling the playing field with larger banks to enabling unique digital-only brands. Before we get started, let me share just a few housekeeping items. First off, don't worry, we can't hear you. You have joined this webinar in listen-only mode. We recommend that you click on the slide bar at the bottom of your screen to put the presentation into full screen mode. If you have any questions for our speaker today, please note those by using the Q&A button found on the right side of your screen. You can enter those questions anytime throughout the presentation, and we will be saving some time at the end to go over these. There is no need to take detailed notes today, as this presentation will be recorded and shared with all attendees within 24 hours via email. It will also be available on bankdirector.com. And today, if you have any technical issues, you can note those using the moderator chat feature on the right-hand side of your screen, and we will do our best to take care of it. Regarding the polling questions today, those will also appear in the sidebar near the Q&A button. When you've selected your answer, you just hit the vote button, and that will submit your response. Finally, the opinions expressed in this webinar are those of the individual speaker only and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the other speakers or of the entities with which the speakers are associated. Now I'd like to share a bit more about our speaker today. Danielle Erickson is the Director of Product Management at Apiture and is responsible for leading the API banking and embedded banking initiatives on the innovation team. Danielle has experience in capital markets, building financial products for retail and institutional investors, as well as building financial technology solutions to help financial institutions improve cost efficiencies, engage in customers, and ultimately grow the balance sheet. Danielle, please take it away.
Thank you, Lexi. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. As mentioned, our topic today is about strategic partnerships for financial institutions, and specifically how to grow beyond the branch. It's nice to meet you all virtually. My name is Danielle Erickson, and I am the product lead at Apiture for API banking, which falls under our innovation team. Today, we're going to talk about an innovative and creative strategy that financial institutions can use to expand their digital reach and grow beyond traditional geographic boundaries. This is also a unique way to gather low-cost deposits. I want to emphasize our discussion today is focused on how to grow beyond, not to replace the branch. Everything we talk about complements and layers on top of what you already do as a financial institution and doesn't replace any of the unique strategies used by your bank today. So let me quickly introduce Apiture to set the stage. Our focus is on understanding the needs and pain points of regional and community financial institutions and tailoring digital banking solutions to address those challenges. As the product lead for API banking, this includes the strategy that we will talk about today, called embedded banking. We're going to focus on this strategy, and I'll discuss how this approach can help banks to grow and engage customers using innovative technology and strategic partnerships. Community and regional financial institutions serve as important pillars of their communities, and will continue to do so. But digital channels are changing the game in banking. And the reason we're here today is to explore opportunities to reach people in new ways. The reality is that banking has changed, and people may not seek us out for financial services in the same ways that they used to in the past. We may not see the branch traffic we did, and we may not see the local or community loyalty to brands the same way we did in the past 25 or 50 years. For regional and community financial institutions, you need the ability to grow beyond what you've done in the past. Combat these realities, to compete and make sure that target customers are aware of you and your brand. So nowadays, that likely means making sure that you're out in the digital world in a meaningful way. And that's where embedded banking can help as we move into an even more digital future. Embedded banking enables financial institutions to increase customer loyalty, grow through new distribution channels, including deposit growth, expand beyond historic geographic boundaries, reach new pools of customers, and all of this while lowering the cost of new customer acquisition. To provide a bit of context, let's discuss why this topic might be important to you and the organization you work for. As technology continues to advance, our relationships with customers are constantly changing. Given current trends in digital adoption and usage, the risk of doing nothing in financial services continues to grow. So with full awareness of these trends, financial institutions are increasingly interested in finding the best way to participate in embedded banking and embedded finance, whether it's through building, buying, or partnering. The reasons for this are simple. We're looking to grow beyond the branch to exceed customer expectations digitally, to better serve customers, and to let prospective customers know about who you are and what you offer. If we take a look at the data, the average American today has 80 apps downloaded on their phone and 100 passwords on average. That's a lot of digital services that everyone's using out there. So what does this mean for you? No matter who your customers are, we know they use a lot of different digital services. Gen Z and millennials actually have relationships with about 30 to 40 financial providers on average. There's so many digital tools available to people today, and this is changing the way that we access and experience financial services. Now, while a lot of these digital tools and fintech providers have generated excitement, they're primarily standalone products and features rather than solution providers. Our main takeaway from all of this data and all of these trends is that competing for Americans' financial relationships, it's complex. With more services, more notifications, and information available at our fingertips, banks face the challenge of introducing their brand to prospective customers who may not visit a physical branch or seek them out. One solution can be to attempt to reach target audiences where they already are digitally. This is where the power of partnerships and embedded banking can be incredibly impactful for your organization. By partnering with non-bank entities and incorporating financial services into more experiences online, financial institutions can expand their reach and meet customers where they already are, driving growth and enhanced value. Our goals for today are twofold. So first of all, I'd like to help all of you learn a little bit more about this strategy that we call embedded banking. So the primary objective for today is first and foremost to provide informative insights about embedded banking and its potential impact. To achieve this goal, I'll spend some time establishing the foundation around the fundamentals of what embedded banking is and why it's relevant. This strategy can help banks grow beyond the branch using strategic partnerships, complementing what you already do and helping out in a few key ways. Staying competitive. In a market where larger banks, challenger banks, and big tech companies are all vying for the financial relationships with the same customers, this can be a unique strategy to keep you competitive. To retain and engage customers. We want to keep our current customers engaged to help reduce attrition and to stop customers from switching to or choosing amongst these other options that are available. Embedded banking can help create stickier experiences while also driving clients back to the branch, back to digital banking when they need more services. And when it drives back to you, this helps you to grow the balance sheet, to grow your customer base, ultimately through increasing awareness of your bank's brand, of your financial services, which expands this prospective audience for your institution. Embedded banking can also enable you to differentiate. In the digital sphere, this is really important, taking advantage of these digital adoption trends to reach customers and prospects by expanding your reach. These are all areas where embedded banking can fundamentally change the way your institution meets new clients and engages with your existing base. Now, our second goal for today is to inspire each of you to go back and have conversations inside of your halls. Armed with this knowledge about a new strategy, I hope each of you feels empowered to identify potential opportunities in the future. For example, partnership growth opportunities that you may not have recognized without the information we're talking about today. If we can achieve both of these objectives, then today will be a great success. But before we dive into the details, let me give you a quick overview of the topics that we'll cover today. So I'm in product, and you know we love our roadmaps, so we'll talk about a quick roadmap for our conversation today. My first priority, as I said, is to give you an overview of the basic principles of embedded banking, starting with the foundations. So we'll talk about what it is and how it works, including the types of banking functions that are demanded and where banking services can be embedded to add the most value for your end customers. Next, we'll look at the benefits and understanding the why. Why are we talking about this today? Why is this strategy beneficial for financial institutions, and why more and more banks are interested in the value that embedded banking and embedded finance bring to them and their clients. Then we'll look at some real-world applications of how this strategy is being used today or could be leveraged in the future to help you grow beyond the branch. And then finally, I'll walk you through how to frame the concept of strategic embedded banking partnerships for your unique organization, including a starting point for thinking about who your institution could partner with. So let's jump into the specifics. And before we do, at a high level, embedded banking provides a way for a financial institution to extend beyond your existing physical and digital domain, to offer greater convenience to existing customers and expose your brand to these new pools of prospective customers. So at its core, I want you to think about embedded banking as just taking banking data and functions and putting them securely elsewhere to reach customers and prospects in new digital spaces, in more digital spaces. So at Aperture, we define embedded banking as when financial institutions are empowered to offer financial services through various distribution channels to meet customers where they already are, including through non-bank partner channels. Again, this is taking what you already do and placing it in new places to reach more people. Our head of innovation at Aperture won the Gonzo Banker Give Me a Good Example Award last year for explaining how this works. So I'll walk through that quickly to make this easier to understand. If you think of embedded banking like putting a branch inside of a supermarket, but digitally. This way, banks are better able to serve their existing customers who shop in the supermarket. And now you're also exposed to all those customers who shop at the supermarket, but don't already bank with you. The supermarket benefits, it's able to differentiate from its competitors to possibly drive more business because of the value add of offering banking services directly within their supermarket experience. And the customers benefit from this added convenience and efficiency. Now they can take one trip and take care of all of their shopping and their banking in a convenient way. With this example, it shows you that with embedded banking as a financial institution, you aren't powering your competitors by partnering with a supermarket. You're just using this partnership strategically to extend your reach. Your institution doesn't compete with the supermarket. So to help make this a little bit more concrete, I've listed a few potential partner ideas over here on the right. So these are all partnership use cases that I've uncovered in my many discussions with financial institutions and research analysts over the past year. And these are just some of the many ideas where you could embed banking services to add value to end users. So we have alternative lenders, investment platforms, a practice management solution, possibly for a dental office, a medical office, or a CPA, an accountant. We have HOA platforms with very valuable deposits and flows that also incorporate payments. And then corporate intranets to access the employees of the corporation. HR and payroll systems are a great onboarding example where you can embed account opening flows or access to new account data to go ahead and set up direct deposit automatically. So you can see embedded banking involves incorporating the financial services that you already offer as a bank into the products or services of these strategic partners, allowing banking to become part of their experience, to become part of these broader, traditionally non-financial value propositions. So if you take a look at this list, the themes that you can see arise here are that embedded banking is complementary to what the bank already offers. None of these entities offer deposit accounts or deposit account servicing as part of their core value proposition. So it's complementary. And also that you can embed banking services into almost any digital experience, whether it's for your commercial customers or your retail customers. So that was a high-level overview, and now we're going to dive deeper and explore how this works end-to-end. And in product, we always start with the user. Your customers are the users of various online services, which we already spoke about, how Americans have so many digital relationships, services they use to manage their lives, whether it's consumer or business customers. There's so many digital services used by people in the world today. With embedded banking, the user is on the digital interface of the partner. They're not on online banking. They're not on your bank's website. They're using the app or the website of the strategic embedded banking partner. Now, these partners are already out there in the market serving your existing customer base, as well as prospects who might benefit from establishing a relationship with your institution. Next, you have a technology enabler, like Apiture. The enabler facilitates the connections between the financial institution's banking services and the partner. At Apiture, we do this using easy-to-implement embedded components. We're the only ones in the industry who use this technology for embedded banking specifically, and well-defined APIs to make it as easy as possible for this partner, who's not in the financial services business, to offer banking services without having to worry about charters, regulations, or just being a bank in general. And last, our most important party within this relationship, the financial institution. In this model, the financial institution and each of these players gets to focus on what they do best, serving customers with the banking tools and services to help all of us manage our financial lives. And you can see here from the list over, this list over on the right, that these services that are demanded by the market for embedded banking, these are not anything new. You don't have to spin up an entire new product division to create embedded banking financial services. This is just access to account data, access to balance data. The other banking services might be viewing transactions, making payments, moving money around, and of course the ability to open new accounts exactly when and where that makes sense for a customer within their existing digital journey. Now here, since the user is within the partner experience, it's likely what they're doing with their customers that's going to dictate which banking services make sense to be embedded. And then as the financial institution, you're in the relationship business. The work for embedded banking for the financial institution is just to establish and maintain relationships, just like you do today with your customers. But this time with corporates, with software companies who can use this strategic partnership to differentiate themselves while you use it to serve even more people or to achieve some of your strategic goals, which may include growth or engagement. For the bank, embedded banking should not be a technical endeavor. A good technology enabler, like I mentioned, that's what Apiture does in this relationship, can help you with those technical aspects. For example, at Apiture, the way we architected our solution does not require any development work for the financial institution. The partner uses Apiture's technology to get to market with embedded banking. So we're going to take a quick moment to gauge everyone's familiarity with this strategy before we keep going. So we're going to take a quick poll. And the question is, had you heard of embedded banking before attending this webinar? So if you can please submit your answers so we can gather information, see what everyone's starting point is. Thank you so much for participating. I appreciate this engagement and the feedback. This helps me to understand the baseline on average. It's also nice to get a feel for where everyone's at, even though we're all virtual. Okay, so based on the results I see coming in, it looks like some of you are already familiar with embedded banking, while others are hearing about it for the first time. So the rest of the content today should be applicable regardless of where you're starting from. I just wanted to get a quick baseline to see where we're at. Let's dive in and explore the specific benefits of this strategy. So we'll look at the benefits for a financial institution specifically. Why would a bank want to do this? Why has the industry been talking about embedded banking and embedded finance over the past year to 18 months? It's all over the news. So understanding the competitive landscape and the market trends is important for us to make informed decisions about both strategic partnerships as well as investments in new technology. This will help us to set the stage for the benefits that embedded banking and other partnership strategies might provide for a bank specifically. So analysts estimate a large revenue and growth opportunity in the embedded industry for financial services. In 2020, this is already over a $22 billion opportunity, with forecasts predicting the market value for embedded finance, which includes embedded banking, embedded insurance, embedded payments. We expect this to reach $230 billion over the next 2 to 3 years. This is a 10 times projected growth rate. So we shouldn't overlook the potential financial and revenue benefits of this strategy. This is an exciting opportunity for financial institutions to expand their reach and compete with these more powerful digital platforms and specialized tech companies that are out there today trying to get our customers' attention. And with embedded banking, we can implement those to protect customer bases and capitalize on new growth opportunities. And I also just want to take a moment to note what you see over here on the right hand of the slide. This is a really important statistic. It's worth noting that there aren't really any size restrictions to participate in this opportunity. It's not just for big banks. 70% of the banks, or actually over 70%, it was 78% the last time that I saw this statistic updated, who are currently live with strategic partnerships are less than 10 billion in asset size. So this means embedded banking is a great opportunity for institutions of all sizes. So using strategic partnerships, you have a potential to really make a significant difference to your balance sheet as well as the way that you're viewed by the market. Okay, so I hope you're starting to see at least why financial institutions should recognize the opportunity of embedded banking, even if it's not right for your organization. And it all boils down to growth and revenue. Growth through third-party distribution channels. And again, like I said, this isn't something where you have to rip and replace or take what you already do and decide where to allocate the budget. This can complement your existing strategies. This doesn't replace the branch, your current marketing efforts, your campaigns, or your customer contact and outreach. The number one goal that I hear today in my conversations with financial institutions is to grow deposits. And this is a huge benefit stemming from an embedded banking strategy to drive new customer and new account acquisition through third-party channels. And when I show you some visuals in a few slides, we can talk about why that is possible. Another benefit is to gain access to the pools of customers that your partners have already acquired. This is what the partner brings to the table, is their customer base. This can help your institution to reach a target segment outside of your natural geography, or to just expand to a current area that they don't have access to. Digital engagement is really the name of the game. That's our next benefit, to improve engagement. Big tech and fintech companies, some of them even measure their company success based on these metrics, not revenue. With embedded banking, you can engage customers in non-traditional ways to delight them while also meeting them where they are, which is not really the traditional way that financial institutions interact with customers. We can also lower the cost of customer acquisition, which is expensive. Marketing today is expensive. There's just so much noise out there in the digital sphere. So putting relevant services in front of a captive audience can be a huge potential differentiator and a growth engine. And our next is loan acquisition in context. So using your partnerships to help uncover when and where and as part of which activities might be credit origination opportunities. And the last one, really to wrap it all up, is the power of cross-sell. So if we think about all the benefits that came before this, we can look at the power of cross-sell through these strategic embedded banking channels. We've engaged customers, created stickier experiences, we've met them where they already are. We can possibly find out what our customers are doing and what they need from this partner. And then that enables us to offer the right financial services at the right time. This is a major contextual cross-sell opportunity. So in the following examples, I'm going to illustrate how embedded banking can be used to capture value with these partnerships. So we'll explore a few real-world examples that demonstrate the impact of embedded banking and how it can be used in reality by institutions like yours. So I'm just going to level set, though, that growth through partnerships is being done today, but most of this is using a banking as a service strategy. This is different from embedded banking. We can get into banking as a service in another webinar, but that's where the bank is really just on the back end, the infrastructure. With embedded banking, the financial institution can choose. They can choose to brand the services, the banking services, as the partners, or they can keep their branding on the banking services. They don't have to be the bank on the back end with embedded banking. Also, many of us think of banking as a service with neobanks and challenger banks today who are just borrowing a charter. But with embedded banking, you don't have to power neobanks and challenger banks. You can avoid partnering with companies who compete in your space altogether by finding complementary partnerships that bring value and not just direct competition. Fintechs are not the only partners who want to offer banking services, and not all fintechs are direct competitors of yours. So embedded banking opens the door to partnerships with a variety of organizations, including those that are outside of the traditional financial sector. So we'll take a look at a few examples. First, we're going to look at this dashboard or platform solution. This might be a consumer dashboard, or it might be a commercial service that's like a practice management solution for professionals, lawyers, doctors, dentists, or veterinarians. Software platforms exist today to serve all of these industry verticals. But really, if you zoom out, this could be any digital tool that provides holistic services to their target customer. This is an important example because this is actually in production today. So our first customer who went live with Apiture's embedded banking solution brought together all the different solutions they offer. They built their own dashboard, but separate from their website or from digital banking, and they embedded banking services alongside the other non-financial services that they offer to provide a holistic and convenient experience for their target customer base. The screen here is illustrating a platform solution. So the partner may provide various services to their customers today, whether it's calendar, messaging, contact management, or more ancillary financial services like accounts receivable and payroll. In this example, when a user is managing their business or looking at a consumer dashboard, they're now able to perform banking functions right here, just like we spoke about with the shopping and banking in the supermarket example. So banking is now directly integrated to meet people where they already are. They can see banking data and conduct banking operations. These are the embedded components that we have here. They can see their bank balances, they can see recent transactions, they can make transfers and payments, or they can open new accounts, all without leaving this application. And you can see over here, these are just the native experiences of this partner platform. And banking has just been embedded inside to look exactly like it was built natively. So with embedded banking, you can empower these partners to embed banking services inside of their existing experiences, which adds convenience and reduces friction for their customers. So it's truly a win-win for the players involved. I'll move on to another example that's super interesting and shows you the flexibility of how embedded banking can be used to help financial institutions extend their reach, and in this case, to access new target customers and demographics as well. This example shows you the range of ways that accessing banking services in context can provide real value to end customers. We call this the University Hub example. So if you imagine your institution partners with an educational institution like a university or a technical college, either in your network or your geography, and using embedded banking, the institution can now offer banking services inside of the university's digital interface. So in this example, this is the university portal where students, faculty, or parents use to access their profile, to make tuition payments, to look at their transcript. And with embedded banking, customers and prospective customers can now access some banking services within their educational institution's digital interface. They also can link out to access full digital banking or find out how to contact your institution if they need more services. These are important mechanisms to continue that engagement with your customer. So for example, let's say that you're a student or parent who needs to make a tuition payment. You would log into this university portal to do so. And when you're paying tuition, it's usually a sizable amount. It's not a $100 Venmo to split dinner. So people often need to check their bank balances and possibly move money around to adjust those balances to make sure they don't overdraw the account from which they're paying tuition. Embedded banking can enable a user of the University Hub to see their account balances and to transfer money between their accounts right here within the Hub. There's no need to switch contexts or go to a different website to access that information. It can be embedded right here. And embedded banking also allows students or parents and users of this portal to open accounts with the partner financial institution from right here inside the portal. So this gives access for the financial institution to these new pools of customers that are maybe outside of their existing campaigns or may just be a more targeted way to help engage with that audience. And ultimately, all of these embedded banking partnership opportunities drive growth for a financial institution's brand. So whether it's the previous examples that we discussed, a flexible sort of dashboard experience, or a university hub, or part of an onboarding flow with an HR or payroll system, or possibly accompanying a loan origination flow, these all can drive deposit growth, which is a major benefit of embedded banking. It also helps to be a differentiator to compare you with the largest banks who are already doing this in a lot of different ways to get out there. But this allows you to target specifically who your customers are and which markets you want to be in, and do so in a very targeted way. So you can grow these partnerships while still maintaining the existing relationships with your clients, with your brand, and your base. And no matter what the strategic partner does or what services they offer, you have the ability to be there to meet your customers where they already are. Ultimately, all of these partnership opportunities can help you as you grow into the future and expand to more digital spaces. So now that we've explored real-world examples of embedded banking, you might be thinking, this sounds great, but who do I partner with? And this is a common hurdle that we see in practice. So we've covered a few examples such as university hubs, HR systems, practice management solutions. And the key here with these partnerships that we discussed is to identify those companies that align with your institution's strategic goals and help deliver on your growth objectives. And so we're going to dig a little deeper into how to frame these potential partnership opportunities for your unique organization. And before we do that, we're going to zoom out quickly and take a poll. And this one is really a secret market discovery tool for me as well. So if you can all please respond. This poll is about potential partners. So after we've discussed what embedded banking is and how it works and gone through a few examples that I'm aware of, I want to see if you all have a few ideas in mind or if you need a little more time to think about it. And in this case, if you answer A or B, or in the next few weeks, if you come up with an example or a partnership idea that we didn't discuss today, please email or message me or find me on LinkedIn. This input is highly valuable for me in my market research, and I'm always on the hunt for new use cases and applications for embedded banking. So thank you in advance for your assistance. And again, please contact me in the future or the moderator today to submit your responses and give me any partnership ideas that you may have thought of over the last 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, I see the responses coming in. Thank you so much for contributing. I do have a contact me slide toward the end if you'd need to reach out after the webinar, and I would really appreciate any ideas that you thought of today about potential partners. So again, who should you partner with? That's a question that we see a lot in practice. And at Aperture, we even host partnership workshops where we sit down with financial institutions to address this challenge. So in those sessions, you would generally see a leadership team or a digital strategy team who meets to align on what embedded banking is and to make sure that everyone understands what the overarching strategic goals of the institution are, which is a great starting point. And then we walk through a couple of exercises to uncover potential partnership opportunities. So I'm going to walk through those with you today, and we have a much shorter time than we're able to walk through in our workshops. But I do promise you, if you sat down and brainstormed with your team using these steps, you would definitely uncover a few potential ideas that are specific to your organization. So the first step that we take is to look at your existing relationships. So this might be your network today, your corporate customers, your executive network, or any regional or community partnerships that you already have in place as potential embedded banking partners. And again, if we sat down and dug into each of these buckets, I know that we could find some opportunities for you. But this is just a quick overview. The next thing that we dig into is how to look beyond your existing relationships to identify partners who could help you achieve your goals based on shared target markets, customer segments, or brand synergies. For example, you can consider industry verticals that you focus on, and that could overlap with a partner with what they focus on. It may be software companies that are headquartered locally or in your geographic footprint. This could be businesses with complementary services. We covered a few today. There's many businesses where they have to make payments or have access to financial data. So there's a lot of opportunity here. And another is digital services your customers already use that could benefit from embedding banking services within their experience. Again, that was just a quick overview to help get you started thinking about who you could partner with. And on the topic of who to partner with and how to execute on an embedded banking strategy, I'm going to review some key lessons with you that we can all glean from existing partnerships that are in production today. So first of all, I do want to just reiterate the importance of finding partners that are aligned across both your strategic goals as well as culturally. So this can be fundamental to success, especially if you're early on learning and iterating on what success looks like for your embedded banking strategy. Next, many of you may have uncertainty around who would own this at the bank. Based on my discussions with institutions and research, it is highly recommended that you make it someone's job and their only job to cover the embedded banking strategy. You want someone who wakes up thinking about embedded banking every day, focusing on how are we doing, what could we be doing better, where and how should we grow. This role encompasses business development, strategy, coordination, leadership, product, and project management, and these are all important. It should be one person's job at least. However, it is important to get the whole team on board and requires support across your organization, whether it's deposit ops, risk, or compliance. Early on, it might be a good idea to focus on areas that you know, or get into new areas, making sure that you have an experienced partner. Next is to plan for ongoing support. As with many partnerships, it's very important that your customers are able to get the support they need and that you have those patterns in place to ensure that the right person, and in this case, the right organization, is supporting them at each step in their journey. Compliance, this is crucial in banking, and we always need to ensure that our banking services are secure, auditable, and compliant. Embedded banking can enable you to more easily manage your existing policies and procedures with digital banking services by limiting what you avail to partners using technology. That's really important. And last is to work with experts. There are organizations that specialize in a lot of the areas that cover embedded banking and strategic partnerships, whether it's legal counsel, compliance and marketing platforms, as well as technology enablers. There are many professionals in these specific fields that can help with the assistance you need to execute on effective, profitable, and scalable partnership strategies. So to wrap up this topic on partnerships, we've covered that strategies require careful planning, strategic alignment, ongoing support, and as always in banking, compliance. By finding the right partners and dedicating the resources to this effort, we can unlock new growth opportunities and stay competitive in the digital age. So these lessons learned can help guide you on a journey towards implementing embedded banking or other partnership strategies as you learn from the experience of those who have already gone through this. And we're about at time. We're going to go ahead and summarize the key points of the webinar today. First of all, and again, this was my primary objective for our time today, to just recognize and get excited about the opportunity of embedded banking, even if it's not right for your institution. Learn more, dig in. I encourage you to have discussions to figure out if this might be a strategy you're interested in, or just to be aware that it's out there. The next key takeaway is to uncover use cases that might work for your institution. If you think about how and where your institution wants to grow or engage customers, and with that in mind, uncover the ideal use cases that can help you to achieve these goals. Last of all, to decide on technology solutions that meet your needs. And the most important, to establish strategic partnerships to grow beyond the branch. These are, of course, the embedded banking. So we covered a high-level overview about how to approach this initiative. And partners will be doing a similar analysis, making sure that prospective bank partners are aligned across strategic and customer experience goals, as well as making sure that the bank partner they select has the services that can support their vision and their needs. Now, who you partner with as a financial institution and how you do so will be different for every financial institution. And in the world where you don't have partners in mind or already established, the right technology enabler like Apiture should be able to help. Okay, with that, I hope you all feel better equipped to talk about and ultimately take advantage of opportunities to empower growth for your institutions using strategic partnerships and innovative technology. If anyone wants to take this conversation offline, I'm available and I love talking shop, so feel free to connect with me, and I hope to meet some of you in the coming weeks. I do want to give one last quick reminder before we move over to the Q&A. If you could please send the moderator or myself any new use cases for embedded banking or examples for potential partners that you may have thought of today or in the next few weeks, please let me know. As a product manager, this market research is always extremely valuable to me. So now I'll pass it back to Lexi at Bank Director to facilitate the Q&A.
Awesome, thanks Danielle. Okay, I'll just quick reminder for everyone, you can still submit questions using the Q&A box on the right-hand side of your screen. We do have a few, and Danielle, you might have touched on this in the beginning, but someone is asking how much development effort is there for the bank to execute on this type of strategy?
Sure, thank you so much. So I can only speak to Apiture's specific technology, so I will respond that way and just let you know that every technology enabler might have slightly different patterns. At Apiture, the technology for embedded banking does not require any development by the financial institution. The partner, so the strategic partner, will be the one who leverages Apiture's technology to get live with embedded banking.
Okay. Someone else was asking, how long would you say on average it takes to get a new partner live with embedded banking?
Sure, that's a great question. So really here, the long pole on the tent is going to be the identifying and establishing the strategic partner. And so that's for the financial institution as the relationship manager for embedded banking. To identify those partners, you have the contractual arrangements to get in place, you have the commercial arrangements. I think that will take longer, and I can't really give an estimate there because I think it just depends on partnership. But in terms of technology, we've had several experiences for implementing our embedded banking components, and it takes on average about 2 to 3 days to a week, depending on the developer resources that the partner has available for the project.
Okay. And then let's see here. Someone else, so it looks like they're looking for a few other examples. So they're saying, could you give a few specific examples of banks and their strategic partners who are in your pipeline to use embedded banking? And then, maybe if you have any sort of drivers for why they're doing this, be helpful.
Sure. So several of the examples that I put on one of the slides are those that I've uncovered in discussions right now. But first, I'll start off with just what I've seen is a lot of interest with the financial institution to go ahead and do a quick POC with embedded banking before they kind of go for the big partnership, the successful partnership. And what I see there is that the financial institutions are looking at their really close corporate customers to maybe put this inside of a corporate intranet, just get comfortable with the technology, and then to expand from there. And another way to do that sort of, we call it a POC in technology, a proof of concept, but another might be to use a subsidiary of yours. And that's a great way because you have a close relationship. And so you can kind of get aligned on the strategy before you go out and start pitching this using business development mechanisms. Those are some that we're interested in. And then the rest of the examples, we covered most of those today that I've uncovered, but I do think there's a lot more opportunities out there. If you look at more of a banking as a service thought process, it shows you how you can unlock more opportunities, whether it's in marketplaces. So again, these are live with banking as a service today, but are great opportunities for embedded banking where you can keep the financial institution's brand on the banking services. It might be marketplaces, ride sharing apps, just different digital tools where either payments, money is being exchanged, or just if customers use the platform every day, it's helpful for them to be able to see a quick look into the financial health of their household or of their business.
Great. I think that's really helpful. And Danielle, I just think overall, kind of really breaking things down, giving examples has been great. So as a reminder to everyone watching, you will receive a recorded version of this webinar within 24 hours. It will also be posted at bankdirector.com. Thank you, Danielle, and to Aperture for co-hosting today. I want to thank everyone for joining us, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.